ask them to serve around sheet of paper. Please write about your relationship with your mom and relationship with the father. More than 70% of them wrote that their father, even though they live under the same roof with their father, but their father was never there. Many men will grow up lonely and they will die with depression. Those men will suffer for it tomorrow. Because by the time they have money, they will take care of their mothers. And we can see that today. Unfortunately, when you even check grants, we have more grants for girl child. I can't even find anyone for boys. You focus more on girl child. Let's talk about boy child issues. You said no. Then I got to know that we have so much scam. Those who will receive grants, they are having girl child programs, but the money is going to their pocket.
Formally, let us meet you, sir.
Thank you. My name is Babatunde, the Principal Counselor UNI Clinic.
Thank you for joining us today. But we've seen that the boy child are not being celebrated enough. You see that they were being told to just, be resilient, to just keep their emotion inside. What do you think is the reason why they are not being celebrated enough?
Number one, I believe the issue of revolution. For example, now when we were young, they told us about gender roles. So the masculine have what have been laid down for them to do, while the feminine have what you are expected to do. Then later on, maybe because of they were putting the masculine on the superiority side against the feminine. So there came up gender conflict. They came up with issues with women, feminism, and so on and so forth. So now because they were like, maybe they want to pity the women. So attention shifted away from the male part and focused more on the women. Unfortunately, the consequences of this action is becoming a menace in the society. When the attention is shifted away, nobody is celebrating the strength of the male child, but will rather focus on the issues the female child is having, the girl child is having. So now want to help them and neglecting the male child. We can see the consequences everywhere. It has become a societal issue, serious one.
But looking at it in the society, the male child is still going to have the female child under him, as in maybe take him as a wife or something like that. And if you are now trying to change attention from the boy child towards the male child, is it not?
I would not want to even say maybe having the girl child under the male child. At some point, we have equal rights. You understand? But mind you, in this global world that we find ourselves, there is nothing anybody can do in isolation. The girl child definitely cannot do some certain things on her own. She would need the help of the boy child. So I would have expected that they teach them, like the gender roles they were talking about then, that every individual person should first of all identify their social values, understand who you are, know what you are meant to be. You understand yourself, and if I need you, I also would like you. I would like it is expected of me to understand you, understand your value, what you can contribute to the society, to help the society to grow in one way or the other. So, because at the end of the day, when you concentrate more on the girl child, you're neglecting the boy child, they are still going to come to each other. There's a point that we're going to have a meeting point at some point. So why can't we train up the boy child to be useful to himself and society, appreciating the girl child, then at the same time train up the girl child, identifying ourselves, our roles in society, and also appreciating the boy child. So at some point, they tend to meet and help each other. That makes the world a better place.
What role do you think parents and guidance play in shaping the boy child identity and self-esteem?
When we're talking about self-esteem, we're talking about uh, identifying your values, the values of individual person. The values you have is quite different from what I have. The roles of the parent in the life of every child is to understand and identify who that child or what that child stands for, and being able to help, giving every moral assistance for the child to be able to nurture what he or she has so that the child can become a better person as a boy child to himself, then every other person can benefit from it. So the parent have so much roles to play. Unlike, but it's becoming something else nowadays because many parents the current parenting, they shift their roles. They rather pay for it and shifting their roles to somebody else to do it. But if that child is not yours, it's never yours. There's nothing anybody can do about that. There's always a place of a parent in the life of every child. If you play your role very well, you'll benefit from it. But if you don't, there's going to be a problem. And we have the problems everywhere, everywhere we see. Those who failed in parenting, unfortunately, they are not the only one that will face the consequences. The society definitely will face the consequences.
Do you think the educational system, supports, or should we say hinder the growth of the boy child, particularly in areas of emotional and vulnerability?
No, mind you, the educational staff may not be able to do everything. I could remember when I was in GSS 1, a teacher came into class and told us point blank, and I held on to that. He said the school can only give you 40%. The 60% is left to you to find, to
Yourself.
research by yourself. You can imagine if the school system is going to give us 40%. So how much? So what do we do? And I think that 40% is just going to be like part of the foundation. The foundational values from home and foundational values from the school. Other things you're placing on it is going to come from how you're ready to build your life. So the school may not be able to do everything, but in a little way, probably they have tried or they are trying. When we were in JSS class, there was a subject we call moral education. There was a time it was scrapped. Oh, we don't have that again. So the school just want to focus on education. What about moral values? Lagos State, for example, they know why they did that. You can't beat any child in any school now. You understand? They used to beat us,
It has
but we see
been
it as bully now, and unfortunately, that has actually shaping so many of the young guys now. But in fact, there's a school I went to last week, and they told us that one of the students gave the teachers three hot slaps,
uh,
and nothing happened. Nothing happened to the student. Nobody beat up the child. The child was just. You
didn't
can
face
just
any disciplinary
why?
action.
No, nothing. How did you get that? For a child to look up to the teacher and slap the teacher? No. If the teacher would do anything, it might be taken up against the teacher. So the educational value system that we have may not be able to handle this thing to the fullest. That's why the parents have a lot to do, and every individual person, individual child, will need to think on how they can become a better person in life. It's a matter of choice. Whatever we are today is in our hands, is how we chose to be. So
But we've seen some parents whereby they take care of the female child than the boy child. And then we've seen people talk about the fact that maybe the traditional setting now, it is the female child that, go ahead to take care of the parent, maybe in the old age and the rest. And that's one of the reason, or the fact that they have to take care of them because they are tender and stuff like that, and thereby neglecting the boy child. So what do you see in this kind of
no,
setting, in this
no.
organization?
I want to know one of the reasons why I believe parents focus more on the girl child is because of this. moral. Okay, let's take example the issue of sexual issues. You understand? Because as a girl, the tendency to be sexually abused is higher in girls than boys. In quotes,
So that means the
because it
boys.
is easily open when it comes to girl child thing. But we have a very high rate of sexual abuse in boy child, but it's not profound, it's not made known to the world. Most, if you, I've checked, I've asked questions from so many boy child about their sexual issues when it comes to being abused while they were growing up. Majority of them, a large percentage of them kept quiet. They never opened up to anybody. They were abused and did not tell anybody. They did not. They kept it to themselves. And we always say that we children should be careful of strangers. But
Yeah.
those who abused them, they were never strangers. They are people close to them. So they kept it to themselves. So most of these guiding the girl child is mostly because of these issue of sexual abuse, because of their formation or their personality or body chemistry or whatever. You understand? So everybody will believe that, oh, as a man you are a man, as a man
Nothing will
you are okay. But not knowing that, no, a lot of men already have been emotionally damaged from their childhood, and they'll take these of the unfortunately, because some of them were damaged, emotionally damaged, physically damaged, they will push this to adulthood, and they are doing the same thing to other children, either to girl child or boy child. If you ask questions from those who are let me say those who are criminals, ask them where did they get start from. They'll tell you from childhood. Somebody somewhere must have tampered with their lives. So the attention shouldn't just be on girl child, also on boy child. We should balance it.
So how do you think parents can balance this?
Know your child. Is To every child there should be one-on-one relationship. Even if you have 10 children, make it one-on-one, one-on-one. That means every child is different from one another. We call it individual differences, even though they are coming from the same home, they were never born the same day. Even if we have twins, they are still different from each other. So you must know your children, know them one after the other, deal with them on one-on-one basis. Then understand them, check out their weaknesses, what are their strengths. When you understand their weaknesses, be ready to help. When you see their strength, be ready to push them out and let them build on their strength. That is it. But how many parents are available at the moment?
Do you think that the economic situation of the country is also affecting the way
It's
parents also
yeah,
manage their
it's a big issue.
children?
But I told an interviewer recently. I said we should also go back to the thing of contentment. Yes, contentment. Every some people may never agree with me. You understand? We have economy issues, but at the same time, contentment will help. We bring in satisfaction. You understand? We want to have everything. We want, underline the word want, everything. We want to have everything, but neglecting some other issues at home. So, contentment, contentment. When you think about this contentment, probably you can be available for your children and put them on the scale of preference, which is more maybe looking for money.
Some people will choose money.
Some people will choose money because the children needs money.
Yeah, based on their school fees, their
And
basic needs.
so many parents lost it. They have lost it because of that. We maybe I could say this today because I was let me say it's a privilege, and thank God for that privilege. I appreciate God for that because, well, my parents were not there. Not that they were not there. My mother died when I was 10 years old. I never lived with my father except on holidays. I grew up with a guy. Then there's nothing you can do about it. Being trained by your parent will definitely be different from the way a guardian would train you. So it's just by the grace of God that I grew up being this way. That doesn't mean I never had some challenges while growing up. But at that point, maybe because of the little things, some kind of strange training my mother gave me before she died when I was 10 years old. Maybe that was what helped me to be strong. In my closet, I knew how much I stood crying in the secret place and asking God for help to become a great man in life. That I never would want my childhood to destroy my future. I told myself that even at 10, 11 years old, that I want to be someone so relevant. But how many children of this age, at the age of 10 or 11, can sit down to think of how they would like their lives to be? I sometimes I look at young children and I wonder, do they think the way I was thinking then? You can imagine a 10-year-old child already emotionally already having emotional trouble, depressed. Who did I talk? I didn't tell anybody. Even some people would wonder why am I saying, because it never showed on me. I'd rather keep it till late at night and get so worried, so bothered about my life. And I kept on moving that if some people could make it, I will make it out. I said it to myself. And I'm glad that I did, and God helped me till this hour. So it was never an easy thing. So parents just should try.
But I believe that experience really shaped you towards
Yes,
having your own family
yes,
now.
yes.
Trying to
Yeah,
rearrange.
the thing that some certain things I went through, like I said, even if some of my siblings get to see this, they'll be surprised. They will be surprised. The some pains I went through at some point in my life made me to see that there are some people even covered with smile could be going through some certain things. And can you imagine? That makes me to go out for some people, even if you are smiling. I God had given me the privilege to understand that there could be something hidden in you that could break you down. So I tend to find out, ask. Like I saw one guy one day, he was just seated under the tree, and I was doing rehearsal with the choir in school on campus. I looked at him. He was just there quiet. I went to him and I said, "Excuse me, are you okay?" He said, "Yeah, fine." I said, "No, what is wrong with you? Tell me something is bothering you." The guy stood up and hugged me and said, "Thank you so much." He said he left his glasses and couldn't see. And that already gave him emotion. I said, okay, okay, okay. Then we discussed on what next. Till I graduated from school, wherever that guy saw me, he will always be grateful because at his uh, uh, broken time, there was somebody that cared to listen to him, even when he was not ready to speak up. So at times, even on the street, I see some people and I walk up to them. Once I have that, let me use, I don't, maybe I should use the word inspiration, or when the Holy Spirit just tell me that guy is going through something, walk up to him. I'll go further and talk to the person. And by the time the guy will just look at me, yeah, thank you, yeah, I'm going through some things. And sometimes they find it difficult to speak up to tell people what they are going. Everything is not money. Not all of them boils down to financial issues. Some are terrible things. I walked up to someone one day and I asked him, you're not married, why? And he said, yeah. And I asked him why. He said because there was no money. The girl he was dating said he doesn't have money. And I said, okay, can I help you? Today, yeah, he has two children. We're able to fix something up for him. But if somebody did not try to move closer and ask him, bros, what are you going through? Probably will still remain single. So sometimes, because of what I went through, that there was nobody that tried to understand my pain. Nobody even saw my pain. I hid my pain so perfectly while I was going on. I hid it so perfectly. Nobody saw me in pain. But as an emotional uh, pain, but and thank God today that I'm smiling. But the smile is genuine. Thank
Not
God.
the.
No, no more pain.
But how do you um channel all those things then and be able to manifest it? Because I believe it's a talent, it's what God has put in you. And going through all those challenges whereby the mom died earlier and then you couldn't stay with your dad and stuff like that, and then you now came up to become somebody that is at this level. How you be able to?
Yeah, to be truthful, I must be truthful to you. I had an encounter when I was 10 years old after my mom died. That was when it was in the middle of the night, and God actually woke me up and spoke to me at the age of 10. I was in primary 4. My JSS1, I understood better because I was getting closer, and I gave my life to Christ. So in JSS1, I was made to understand what purpose was, what the meaning of purpose. Then I was made to sit down and understand purpose. So I started checking out, why did I come to this world? Why? So at a very young age of my life, I understood that my life was to help people. You understand? My mom told me a story that I hated food. I never liked to eat. So if they needed to make me to eat, they would call neighbors' children. She will serve them food. So while they were eating, I'll be happy, I'll be glad to see them eating. And the same way I'll be, so that was the only method of feeding me. So while I was growing up, the same thing I was doing, even in the university, I would cook 5 dericals of rice minimum if I must cook. Boys will always come to eat from my pot. Even girls will eat because I'm a good chef. So I love cooking, and I love it when I see people asking and coming to eat from my table. Some of them might be seeing this, and they even up to today, I still enjoy making people, because will I say, maybe I have had, not that I never grew up in an environment where there was no food. There was always food. I never had issue with food, with feeding. No, my guider, my elder sister really tried in that area. But something made me to know that some people, once you take out that, you'll have met a lot of needs when it comes to feeding people. So God made me to understand purpose, and I followed that purpose with the help of God, in the sense that I came to this world to help and put smile on people's faces. So once I see you sad and I have the privilege to make you smile, no, that's a plus one testimony for me. I will be so excited. That makes me happy. That is it. That makes me happy.
How can parents of this world try to ensure that they are always present in the affairs of their children?
Cut off their excesses. Every man, every mother, every father can sit down and cut off their excesses. I went to have a training in a church recently, and we spoke to children on the issues of drug and substance abuse, and it got a point. We're talking about the factors causing issues of drug and substance abuse, and we talk about absentee parents, parents that are absent in the lives of their children. And I asked them to serve around sheet of paper. Please write about your relationship with your mom and relationship with the father. And if you see what they wrote, more than 70% of them wrote that their father, even though they live under the same roof with their father, but their father was never there. And unfortunately, you can imagine the future of those men. Many men will grow up lonely, and they will die with depression. They will be depressed and they will die in prison. You can imagine over 70% of boys and girls writing that even though they live under the same roof with their fathers, their father was never there. those men will suffer for it tomorrow. Because by the time they have money, they will take care of their mothers. And we can see that today. So fathers should be available. Sit down. No matter how busy you are, get to sit down with your children. It might not even be physical contact at times, even on the phone. On the system, you can have a chat with them. Like I developed one thing, and eventually I loved it. Maybe at times I want to make a continental dishes with for my family. I do with my boys, so we get to
Bond.
cook together. It helps us to bond. They are more closer to their mom, but in some certain ways, I had to make them to be confident with me. The last time I raised my hands on my kids to be over 5, 6 years ago. No, when God helped you to have good children, no, be happy.
As an
But
African parent.
I'm telling you, as strong looking as I am, no, I don't use. All I needed to do is to use. But I was trained with words. I was never trained with cane. So the same way I'm doing for my children. My it was only my mom that used to beat. My dad slapped me twice in my lifetime, just twice. He never used cane on me. But my mom used to beat me then. So now living with my guardian, I was well behaved. I had to have sense because I prefer you talk to me and I listen than using cane on me. So the same way method I used to train on my children, and I want to talk to them. I want them to listen. Even when they make mistakes, I don't want to capitalize on that. There must be a reason for that. All I need to do is correct them, and they may not repeat that thing, and they may repeat it because I sometimes if we force the children at times, you might bring out the negative part of them. So we need to be very, very careful. Though I pray a lot when it comes to no, I don't joke with prayers. I pray and mention their names. I know I do that so well. Mention the names of my children. God help me to build them. Help me to build them. If God helps you, there will be a lot of peace at home. That is it. And like I was saying this morning, I don't use negative words. Like though I can shout, but I don't use negative words. I don't. I know. They don't ever hear that at home. Between me and my wife, no, we don't do that. We don't. So if you hear them say negative words, they learned it in school, and we correct them right there when we hear them say that. We say, why are you saying this? You are not supposed to say this. As a child of God, you are supposed that things that are expected of you. At times when I go out to train people, or maybe I've gone to have a counseling session with those on drug and substance abuse, I get back home, sit them down to discuss about it, so that they will know that please, these are things you need to do, there are things you have to ignore. There's some I'm not the kind of person that will tell my children not to have friends because I have friends. I choose friends a lot, but we have friends and we have friends. I want to know their friends. Even if their friend comes home, it will help me to be able to select those who are good, those who are bad. Then we know what to do. All I need to do is to talk to them. This kind of friends is not meant for you. This kind of friend, and at times, parents, you may say, "Oh, my children do not go out. All they do is watch movies and watch cartoons." I want to check the movies they are watching. I want to check cartoons they are watching. There was a cartoon called Madagascar or something something. If you watch the cartoon, it's about vampire. And there's some cartoons you don't allow your children to watch. We have some cartoons that promote LGBTQ. Yeah, we have some cartoons that promote being what's it called, scamming one another, or talking about what you call this thing when a male will change to transgender. No, you need to check those things. And when I bought phone for them, the phones were connected to my email because of age limit. You understand? So even if they want to pass their boundary, I will be informed and be told what they want to do. If it's okay, I'll ask the system to proceed and give them access to the information. And if not, I just cut it off from there. So be available. Check what they do. Check their clothing. You can imagine mothers shedding tears over the food, and I will be meeting them for the first time, the mother and the son. On Tuesday, the mother and the son. You can imagine that. So it's sad. It's sad.
So we've seen that there are a lot of initiatives being done for the girl child. When you talk about the fact that some agencies, institutions are also trying to, give them aids, baby pampers, or trying to care for them. But we've seen that the boy child are not really getting a whole lot of, some of these programs. How do we balance it whereby? Because I believe that the boy child also they have needs,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it shouldn't just be about the.
It's sad the society or the stakeholders are yet to balance this stuff. I provide clothing for boys on the street. I provide food. I provide money at times. And I give free counseling to them. Unfortunately, when you even check grant, we have more grant for girl child. Not I can't even find anyone for boys. So I use my money, except my friends that out of nothing I use my own money. Except few friends that like what I do. And that comes once in a while because I don't go on the social media and ask people for money. I don't do that. I attended a function in Abuja. I don't want to mention that foundation. I was invited to represent Ogun State in terms of nutrition, and they definitely mentioned girl child issues. And I walked up to one of those officials. I said, "You focus more on girl child. Let's talk about boy child issues." He said, "No." And I was so surprised. The woman shunned me with anger. Then I got to know that we have so much scam. Those who will receive grants because of that they are having girl child programs, but the money is going to their pocket.
Hmm.
How much are they doing? That is sad. The way she acted, man, I was angry. I said, what? Why would she be angry? Just because I asked about boy child, let's do something
See,
for
for the
boy child.
boys,
Do you think I want to stop whatever you are collecting or receiving from the United Nations? It's a yeah, it was a United Nations program, but they focus more on girl child. Is it that there's a mission to weaken the boys? I don't understand. I don't understand, but it can't work. But in some developed countries, we are seeing how much they are like taming the boy child and strengthening the girl child. What do they want to turn the world to be in the nearest future? Maybe there's something behind all these things. I don't understand. I don't understand. Even you get to see boys becoming girls because there's more attention
to the
to
girls.
girl child. So everybody wants to become, it it's sad. It's sad. There should be a lot of provision for the boys too. They have so much need. You can imagine some of them don't have clothes, no shoes, and are matured enough. Like I was discussing on TV recently that while I served had my NYC service in Jigawa State in Dutse, I saw boys on the street. Some of them are intelligent. When I sat down with them to listen to them, some boys on the street, no family. Their mothers and father they were still alive, but they have no access into their family home. You can imagine their room will face outside, so they could not see. There was no way they could see their mom, and the man was not always available. So once they wake up in the morning, they pick up their plate and the match out. And I wrote a proposal. I spoke with the commissioner for women affairs and social development. She told me, she said, my hands are tied. There's nothing she could do. There was nothing she could do. That even former President Olusegun Obasanjo tried to work on that, but the elite refused. But that was in the year 2006. At long run, we saw the consequences. Not just the northern part of the country suffered the consequences, the whole nation suffered the consequences because they neglected them. Everybody deserves to be loved. Everybody, either girl child or boy child, we all deserve to be loved. Not to be made to go hungry. There'll be so you can imagine you are in a restaurant or canteen, you are eating, and because you pick a cup of water to drink right in front of you, your food is taken away because somebody, one boy child is hungry. Is hungry. That's in the north. But what about here in the south? We have some too. Some boys, you're walking on the street and some boys will be saying, hey, Baba, Baba, go to show the other breed. You see those boys there. Sometimes they're hungry. Once they're hungry, they will steal. They will. Thank God for that chess man today, Adekoya, what's his name, Onokoya, who started making use of chess to help the boy child or so, and the girls too. But mind you, can it cover everybody or everywhere? It's not possible. We need more stakeholders. That's why I don't like it, that everybody want to blame the government. Government can't do it all. Government cannot do it all. We need stakeholders. The faith-based institution, the churches, the mosque, they can do so. They can do better. They can do better. They can, like I attend Mountain of Fire now. They balance it so that programs are doing to help both the boy child and the girl child and going through the schools to meet their psychological needs so that by the time they grow up, they will not grow into problem to the society. Thereby, we're treating the issues of unruly behaviors, how to curb them from that stage. So we need more stakeholders to handle it, to help to curb these issues and balance it.
So, what do you think are some of the long-term potential consequences from all this people neglecting the boy child? And what solution do you think can be
No,
done
number
to?
one, the consequence. Let's talk about the consequences first. Number one, you are not safe. Even you yourself, you are not safe. Even those who had built mansions, they are not spared. We have seen many a times during election that all these boy child they are going to become hoodlums. They burn down some houses, destroy properties, so many properties worth millions of naira. So nobody is safe. Even they go to the market, they destroy some market. Look at what happened during the NSAS. For someone who have senses, would never think of how to destroy people's properties. You understand what I'm saying? Even though people are aggrieved because of the issues with the government, but sometimes there could be some better ways to address things. Though government at times, I think what they also prefer is violence, and some people they would rather prefer to use that violence to speak to the government. You know, we have that aside, but to those part of the consequence that you definitely will not have peace. You are not safe. What about your children? Your children definitely in the future may have contact with one or two persons from such background. We're never sure who our children will get married to. We are just hopeful and praying that they should get married to someone that will give them peace of mind as well. So that's that. And helping out is be involved. Get yourself available to help not just your own children. I'm not just helping my children. I also help other people's children, and that gives me joy. I had a case whereby a young boy graduated from the university and he never wanted to go back to have his postgraduate program, and he would talk to his parents just anyhow. He would do all sort of things, and I got involved, and things changed. The mom is always is ever grateful, and the young boy could talk to me confidentially and confidently. But there were things he couldn't tell his parents, and he would tell me. And today the story has changed. Speak up when you need help. Speak up. Parents need to open their mouth and talk. find help where it is necessary. That's what we could do, and we need government to help us with more policies, sending them to, not that we should wait until things are and we now send them to jail. Like Agodi prison that we went to, terribly smelling. There is no water in Agodi prison, so there's no water to have their bath. And in Agodi prison, they have over 1,000 boys, male, and just 22 female. You can imagine. Look at the consequences of focusing on girl child. So focusing on girl child saved the girl child from going to prison, and the boy child are ending. They end up being in prison. So if attention given to, that's my own analysis, attention given to girl child is also balanced, helping the boy child. Maybe we will not have that number of boys in behind the bar. So we need to ask God to help us to pray. So government needs more policies to help. Also, the I will always fault the National Orientation Agency. It's not until it's time to do what's it called, National Award Day, before we start seeing their work. They should also do a lot of orientation, helping these young people use the social media, use the those who are doing skit, and our skit guys, skit makers too. What they do at times is scary. There are some skits that I see, they are supposed to be banned. We have some skits that have morals, and you can imagine somebody making a skit. I'm just saying this, making a skit, and all you see is a lady with big boobs, and they are shaking, and no, even if you are doing something good, if you are not careful, you leave whatever good thing you are doing, you want to check the boobs that the person is showing. What is the moral value behind such skit? What tell me, what have we got to learn from that? We need more skills that will help our young boys and young girls to think straight. And when some people, even maybe they have done well academically, do we encourage them? Government do not encourage them. Some stakeholders, you can imagine you are having the best result, and all they could give you is 5 million. But somebody can go into Big Brother Nigeria and they'll give the person over 100 million. Somebody who have toiled, who have done so well, maybe for about 3 months, studying well, and now he had the best result. The only thing he could give is 5 million. But another person who has gone to build the house,
Eating in the house, doing everything.
and you are giving that person 100 million naira.
Disparities.
Then I don't know. There's a lot of things that we need to. I know some people who abuse me for saying this. Well, I don't care. And when they have issues, they will still come back to my office. That is it. That's why I don't care whatever they say. When some of them have issues, or you are talking to them about why they should not take drugs, or why they should not depend on hard drugs or substance, they will abuse you so well. I said, okay, don't worry, my office is open. When it's your turn, I'll open it for you.
When you are done.
When you are done, you come back. Like I'll be visiting Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital Yaba, and I nod my head, I shake my head. When I see guys, I shake my head. No, 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 no. It's not good. It's not. It's not. It's not. Some people should be allowed to go on tour to such facilities. Go and see what's going on there. Yaba has over 560 beds, all occupied, and that's the largest psychiatric hospital in West Africa. 560 beds, all occupied. If you go there and want to take your patient there, there's tendency that there will be no bed. And in Lagos, do you know how many psychiatric hospital, private hospital we have in Lagos? Also well occupied. Boy, and majority of them are boys. So we should not ruin these boys, please.
So, your message to the boy child, stakeholders, parents, government, and everybody
Yes, yes.
is your message to every one of them.
Let's join hands. Let's work together. Let's help one another. Like we have always heard that a tree cannot make a forest. We are connected. There's a purpose why this computer will tell us that we live in a global village. For the mere fact that we live in a global village, will tell us that will make us understand that we are so important to one another. So your life matters to me. So when we begin to think of this, then we'll be able to realize that your value could take me further. My value could help you as well. So let's help ourselves. Those who have issues, let's open our hands and be ready to help them. And that will help us to make the world a better place to live. Either whether we're the stakeholders, the faith-based institutions, the government, and so on. Let's go ahead and help.